That brings us to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I'm repping with my Pokemon shirt on right now. Notable moves. Derek Favors picked up his $10.2 million player option. They drafted Chet Holmgren at number 2. They acquired JaMychal Green, who they bought out, and he gave back $2.3 million. And the Denver Nuggets 27 first-round pick, top 5 protected through 29 before turning into 1 second-round pick. They gave up in that deal the number 30 pick, Peyton Watson, and a 2023 second-rounder and a 2024 second rounder, neither of which are their own. Drafted Jalen Williams at number 12. They acquired Ousmane Dieng, the number 11 pick from the Knicks, in exchange for Denver's 2023 first, lotto protected through 2025, then 2 seconds. Detroit's 23 first. That's top 18 for the next 2 years protected. Then it's top 13 protected in 25 and top 11 protected in 26, top 9 protected in 2027. Then it turns into a 2027 second if it is not conveyed. And they also give Washington's 2023 first round pick. It's lotto protected for the next 2 years, top 10 in 2025, top 8 in 2026, turns into 2 seconds. So effectively, they viewed Ousmane Dieng worth the 3 conditional first round picks. They drafted another Jalen Williams at number 34. They declined Lou Dort's $1.9 million team option and signed him to a 5-year, $82.5 million deal. Only $64.8 million is guaranteed of that number. And there's a team option on the final season, which, by the way, it will only be his age 27 campaign. They signed Kenrich Williams to a 4-year, $27.2 million extension, team option on the final season when he'll be entering his age 31 campaign. They signed Mike Muscala to a 2-year, $7 million deal after declining his team option. And he has a team option on the final season of this deal. They signed Eugene Omururi to a 2-way contract, and they signed Sacha Kalea-Jones to an Exhibit 10 deal. Notable exits, they waived Isaiah Roby, and NBA Twitter was incredibly mad about it when it happened. Grant, what grade did you give the Thunder?
This is an A. It's a flat A. I was about to talk myself down to an A- because I'm not sure about the Dieng trade, but like you said, 3 conditional firsts for a guy that is a typical OKC product. We just like the upside is through the roof, is a 10% chance of reaching it. Like I love the big swing, fine with that. I think getting Holmgren at 2. We just gushed about Paolo Banchero on the last pod that we recorded. I think Holmgren is just right there. The way that he might transform that defense. Like if he led the league in blocks this year, I wouldn't be surprised. And then you've got all this other ancillary offensive stuff that he looks like he's going to be capable of. If you didn't like the JaMychal Green move for Denver, you have to like it for the Thunder. Even though he was just essentially bought out, but I think that's a fine trade. So Jalen Williams, I went to Santa Clara, and I have a text thread with a lot of Santa Clara people I went to school with,
including him.
Even he's not on it. Even that thread was not as, there was a lot of hyperbole on that because Santa Clara doesn't have NBA prospects almost ever. And even on that thread, nobody foresaw this, the way that he rose up the draft boards and the way that he looked in summer league, like, that's a 2-way big wing that can make plays with and without the ball, and looks like he's going to defend, finish athletically. Like this just was kudos to OKC for getting him at 12, because this was a guy that, I mean, wasn't even like a first round thought really for the vast majority of the season. So, and it looks like they really hit on that. The Dort deal, awesome, especially when you knock off all the money that's not part of the guaranteed salary. It's just like great deal. Maybe the Kenrich Williams one is even better because we're obligated to love him, and that's just a bargain. So I'm looking really hard for moves that knock this down from an A. And I'm having a hard time finding them. I'm curious if you were as high on this as I was.
I had an A, and the only thing that you really can argue against, and that's why I considered an A- B+. Did they give up too many picks to get Ousmane Dieng? They don't fucking need all those 23 first round picks. Like those fall into roster spots immediately. And you're at a point where like you have actual players that you just drafted now that you just can't create all these roster spots. You have Josh Giddey and you have Chet Holmgren and you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander signed. You're not just going to give away Kenrich Williams. Like he's a veteran, but he's good. So it was people already mad that you cut Isaiah Roby, and hey, that's not going to be the last cut they make. Derek Favors is probably next. Taylor Maladone might be on there because they have so many, they still need to cut down their roster. I like that they went all in on Ousmane Dieng, who I actually liked. It just seems like a very smart player who's going to keep the ball moving on offense, defend his butt off. And like if hey, this team hired, I didn't mention this, Chip Engelland.
Yeah.
Do you trust anyone to help?
It's got to be an A. It has to be an A.
No, I can't believe I didn't even mention that. So that I'm sure there'll be people who don't listen to this entire segment going, by the way, OKC signed Chip Anglin. Like, if you trust anyone to not just like, I'm not saying rebuild, but help Ousmane Dieng with a jumper, or hey, Josh Giddey working with, or like just Chet Holmgren all of a sudden have this like much quicker release or something. It was an A through and through. And look, we have to stop being hypocritical. And if it happens inadvertently, I get it, but we can't be mad if OKC is tanking and then get mad when they take swings like trading 3 first-round picks into Ousmane Dieng. And look, there's a chance that I would say there's a chance at least one of those picks they gave up doesn't convey. I don't know which one I'm kind of staring at right now is most likely. I guess like the Wizards I might bill is the one that's least likely to convey, but like none of those picks profile as like these top end assets. And so maybe if you thought that, oh, well, none of these are going to convey in 2023, well, Denver's is going to. It's like they gave up a late 23 first-round pick. If you thought like Detroit's and Washington was going to spill into the bitter end and, you have a chance of getting a lottery pick, if you want to just mark them down a bit for that, I get it. I like the fact that they recognize someone they like now. Also, they signed in the past year plus 3 good players to keep. When you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the extension, and Kenrich Williams extension, the Lou Dort deal, which, by the way, when you break it down, it's like 4 years and $64 million a season without the incentives and that team option. That is, anyone who thinks that's too much for a wing who just defends his ass off, maybe a little small for a wing, but he's built like a fucking brick house and he can really get to the rim. There's some directionality on his drives. And hey, he's not afraid to shoot threes, even if they're not always going in. And I'm a big believer of there's value in the volume as well as the accuracy. So I don't know how you dislike their offseason. I just don't know what there is to hate. And look, I just criticized the Nuggets for giving up that 2027 first-round pick in the JaMychal Green trade. That's sort of a nice rainy day asset because what if something goes wrong in Denver? It's only top 5 protected. So I thought this was a home run offseason for them. I don't think they instantly become good, but like this is a team that, and I thought this last season, they deserve to be slaughtered for the way that they were actually slaughtered by the Grizzlies, but that was not reflective of their rebuild, which has had a rhyme and reason and direction for longer than people have credited. If you want to, if we fast forward months and they're shutting guys down again, I can get being frustrated at that point. What are we doing here? But like they're doing actual things to build up the immediate player base. I loved this offseason from them. And I think the Chet Holmgren pick, when you're looking at the 2 players that were back on the board, is there a chance Jabari Smith Jr. is better than him? Sure. But Chet Holmgren is going to be, I think, a monster. And if he gets stronger, like he's going to be the quintessential complementary offensive player, I think. But if there's a chance that his ball handling skills develop and he's given that agency over the offense, and then he's getting even stronger on defense, we're talking about someone who himself could be a very transcendent talent.
Agree. Nothing to add. This is just the flat A.
I don't know why I was so impassioned about giving the Thunder an A just there. I'd spittle flying off my mouth into my microphone.